Welcome to another edition of Goober Pasta. Are you afraid of bees? Well, if you are, then this next tale will be quite spooky. Bzzz.
Fall is a great time of year. There's always so many wonderful things to do outside. Pumpkin patches, hay rides, haunted houses, apple cider vinegar, all the things that require wearing a sweater for. You get hot during the day, but you get cold at night, so you don't know how to dress. But there's one thing in particular that is really scary for me, and that's the enormous amount of bees that come out in the fall. It seems like they're in hyperdrive because winter's coming around and they gotta make an awful lot of honey or whatever else bees do. I don't know. Dance, I think? I remember one day in particular where I met the bee of a lifetime. I was walking through the park with my coffee in hand, basking in the memories of all the root-based plants that I've eaten because it's fall. Pumpkin, squash, more pumpkin, and whatever else people like me eat in the fall. You know, fall-related plants and stuff. I came across a trash can that was overfilling, and sure enough, there was a swarm of bees next to it. Now, I'm not allergic to bees, but, well, I don't want to get stung. I remember one time my buddy and I were crossing the street in high school, trying to go back to school, and he got stung by a bee, and his eye got really swollen because of that. And, well, I'm just too pretty to go through anything like that. As I passed by this trash can filled with bees, a bee started coming at me very aggressively. Oh no, I thought, this bee is coming at me very aggressively. I'd better stand here and just let the bee do its thing, and eventually it will lose interest and leave. Sure enough, the bee landed right on my shoulder. It kind of hung around on my shoulder for a while, and then it buzzed away, but it quickly came back and was right in my face. "Hey, man," the bee said. "Oh my God, it's a talking bee. I can't believe it. Bzzz. Listen, buddy, I'm a bee, Bzzz. And we're endangered and we're very important to the world and stuff, Bzzz. So that means that I'm gonna need you to do some stuff for me, Bzzz." "What? What kind of stuff? I thought all you guys did was make honey." Bzzz. "Yeah, we make a lot of honey, bro, Bzzz. But I'm getting really bored of that, you see, Bzzz. Bzzz. I really, need some money, Bzzz." "What is a bee gonna do with money?" I asked him. Bzzz. "I don't know, man. Maybe go get some cocaine and, go see that live action Mulan. Bzzz. Heard that's some, pretty good stuff, man. Bzzz. Don't you want to see the Jerry Seinfeld bee movie?" I asked him. Bzzz. "Fuck all that. Bzzz. I don't care about no guy trying to pretend like he's a bee. Bzzz. I'm a real bee here, so listen, dude, it's time for us to, go get some cash and stuff." Bzzz. Well, I didn't want to do this because I had a lot of other things going on today. You see, I had this girlfriend, and she was going to get very mad at me if I was late to dinner with her parents tonight. It was 3 p.m., and we had dinner scheduled for 6 p.m., and I needed to be at her house wearing my nicest cardigan. "All right, B," I said. "You guys are endangered, and everybody tells me that you're very important to the world, so let's go get you some money." Bzzz. "That's what I'm talking about, man. Bzzz. Hey, I got a great idea to get us some money. Bzzz. But, look underneath that bench right there." Bzzz. I walked over to the bench that the bee directed me to. There was a bag underneath it. I pulled out the bag and opened it up. Inside was a Glock 9mm and a ski mask. I looked over at the bee. "Hey, man, I don't think I like where this is going. Bzzz. Fuck all that, bro. Bzzz. I'm a bee, and we're going to go rob the 7-Eleven across the street over there, okay? So put on that mask, and I'm going to stand on your shoulder near your ear, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Bzzz. Don't be a total bitch, bro. Bzzz. It's time for us to go get some cash. Bzzz. Damn. I knew it was wrong for me to rob the 7-Eleven, but this bee kept holding it over my head that he was in fact a bee, and that bees were very important for the earth, and if we didn't have bees, that probably it would devastate the ecosystem, you know, whatever those really left-wing liberal people are always talking about. Damn, he's got me. I'm gonna have to go rob this 7-Eleven. So I put on the ski mask, and the bee was on my shoulder, and as we crossed the street, "Hey man," I asked the bee, "what's your name?" "Bzzzt. My name's Larry, bro. Larry the bee. Bzzzt. Now listen, if we get caught by the cops, which I mean you, because I'm just gonna like fly out the squad car when he opens it up, because I know damn well bzzzt, that he ain't got no bzzzt handcuffs small enough to fit on my hands, and I don't have no hands. I got legs, and I don't think he's got enough of those. Bzzzt. So let's not worry about all that, okay? Bzzzt. Alright, I was just asking what your name was. I mean, you're very intelligent because you're talking to me, and you somehow were able to get a gun and a ski mask inside of a bag and put it underneath a bench. Bzzzt. Yeah, us bees are real clever. Bzzzt. You know, we communicate by dancing and stuff. Bzzzt. Except me, because I'm like talking to you in English language understood by humans and some bees, like me, for example, Larry. Bzzzt. We approached the 7-Eleven. I had put the ski mask on and took out the Glock and cocked it. I walked into the liquor store that was also a 7-Eleven that sold liquor, which is what I mean to tell you all. I went up to the counter and I said, "Okay, guy, me and this bee want all the money that you have in this register." He said. "Why does a bee want money?" Bzzz. "Tell him to shut up and put the money in the bag," Larry said. "Look," I looked at his name tag. It said Jim. "Look, Jim, we don't have time for questions. You need to put the money in the bag so me and this bee can get out of here." Jim thought for a second. "Okay," he responded. "I'm going to give you the money. Not because you're up in here robbing me, but bees are very important. And I don't want to be responsible for the demise of bees. So if you tell me this bee wants some money, then that's cool." He took all the money out and stuck it in a plastic sack and handed it to me. Me and Larry walked out. Bzzz, that's real good, man. You see, people don't deny the bee. Bzzz. Now, let's go do something else. Like, take this money and go down to the bad part of town and get some heroin. Bzzz. Whoa, hold on, Larry. Why does a bee want heroin? You shouldn't be doing drugs. Heroin is a very bad drug, and you're a very small bee, and I don't even know if it's going to have the same effect on you that it has on me, like a human being me. Bzzz. Never mind all that. You know, there's other bees, like my Chinese cousin bee, Wing Wong. You know, he goes and flies all sorts of over poppy plants, you know, that grow over in that region and stuff, and, you know, he's fine, and he says how great it is. So I just maybe want to try a little heroin, and now we got this cash, so let's go buy a little heroin. Bzzzt. Well, he made a good point. Larry then commanded me to steal an Uber vehicle. There was one stopped at the red light just across from the 7-Eleven, and I went over, and I opened the door, and I threw the man out who was driving. "Hey, that's my car," he said as we sped away. Bzzzt. "Good, man. I like your attitude now. You are getting with the program." Bzzzt. Larry and I then drove into the bad neighborhood and came across one of the first drug dealers that we saw. I pulled up and rolled down my window. "Hello, Mr. Drug Dealer. I require some heroin, please." Larry was in my ear going bzzzt. Now look, man, as soon as he pulls out the heroin, you take this gun, shoot him, get out, and get all the drugs. Bzzzt. But Larry, I said, we have money. We can just exchange money for the drugs and complete this drug transaction. Bzzzt. Fuck all that, man. Bzzzt. I want my money for other things. Bzzzt. So do as I say, because I'm a bee and I command of you. Bzzzt. Well, he had a good point. The drug dealer came over to the window. 3 for 4, dude. I'm gonna need some of that cash in hand. Let's see the drugs first, I said. Psh, come on, man, you know I'm good for this. He opened up his hand and showed me several baggies of heroin. I then pulled out my gun and shot him numerous times. Bzz, that's what I'm talking about, man. Now get them drugs and let's get out of here. I went out and I picked up all the drugs off the drug dealer. Several of his drug dealing associates came over and weren't very happy with the fact that I shot him multiple times. They started opening fire against me and Larry. Larry went down and pulled another gun out of the drug dealer's pocket. He cocked back and started firing. Come on, bitches. Bzzzt. You want some of Larry? Bzzzt. Oh, shit, one of the other drug dealers said. It's a goddamn bee and he's got a gun. Bzzzt. We can't kill that guy. Bzzzt, bzzzt, psh, bzzzt, bzzzt, psh, psh. We gotta get out of here because bees are endangered, and if we kill them, then they will not be able to pollinate opium plants, which we use to sell drugs on the streets. Yeah, let's get out of here, another drug dealer proclaimed. Larry kept firing. Bzz, bzz, psh, psh, bzz, bzz, psh. His gun went off. Run, bitches. Bzz, run, fools, bzz, Larry said. Larry and I got back in the vehicle and sped off. The other drug dealing people ran off into an alley, which I do believe they also call a cut. I was driving down the street. I had never shot a guy before, but this was my first time, and I'm pretty sure that he was dead. Larry started going through the bags of heroin, and he delved into one because one baggie was almost twice the size of him. He went in there and he was really on heroin. Bzzz, he was saying as he was flying around all crookedly. Bzzz, listen, man, bzzz, we're just gonna chill out for a while. He started nodding off. Larry, I said. Larry. Oh no. Larry was having an overdose. Larry. Bzzz. Nah, man, just let me sit here for a while. Bzzz. Larry was up on the dashboard. I could tell that he was having an overdose, and I had to get him to a hospital immediately. I went to the closest one and pulled right up into the emergency room. I pulled Larry's heroin-filled bee body into my hand and ran in. I played him very gently on the emergency room counter. Excuse me, ma'am. This bee is overdosed on heroin. Is there anything that we can do for him? The nurse called a code yellow, and suddenly a team of doctors and bee nurses came out. Like, not actual bees who were doctors and nurses, but people who specialized, human beings who specialized in treating bees and such. They put him on a crash cart, and they took him back into the emergency room. One of the doctors pulled out some very tiny paddles and was like, we're losing him. And he goes, clear, bzz, clear, bzz, clear, bzz. But it was no use. Larry's heart wouldn't start back up. Larry had a little life left in him, and he called me over. Bzz. Hey, man. Bzz. Thanks for doing all that stuff for me. Bzz. I did too much heroin, though, and bzz. I'm done for. Bzz. Larry passed on. Damn, I thought. That is crazy. First I meet a talking bee, he has me rob a 7-Eleven, then he has me shoot a drug dealer, and now he died from heroin. Several police officers stormed and approached me. They pulled out their guns and told me to drop mine, which was still in my hand because I was too big of a dumbass to put it back into, like, hiding in my clothes. I set the gun down. They said, "All right, dude, you're under arrest for allowing this bee to die. You know that they're endangered and they're very important to the world, and you let this bee die of a heroin overdose. Why you would go get a bee heroin, I have no idea, but you did, and now he's dead, so we're taking you to jail, buddy." And that's exactly what they did. 2 months later, they sentenced me to death by honey injection. They said a very ironic punishment for a shithead like me who allowed a bee to die. Thank you, bitches.